In the 1970s, a playwright named Lisa Lichtfield writes a play about an alien that's stranded on Earth. This alien meets with a family of kids, shows off its telekinetic powers, and ultimately returns to its ship to leave Earth. Lisa submits the play to Universal Studios in 1978, hoping they'll purchase the film rights to the story, and they don't. But, in a big coincidence, they release E.T. the Extraterrestrial 4 years later. Since then, this classic Spielberg film has earned nearly $800 million at the box office, and back then, Lisa sued for $750 million and lost. And maybe Universal Studios was right, but we don't really know what happened, and it's plausible that they read her script and created a derivative screenplay for E.T. Whatever happened behind those closed studio doors, one thing is for certain. If you're going to be working in the entertainment industry, you better get your legal straight.
But seriously, it could be useful.
Hey guys, this is a nuts and bolts episode, another piece of my maker show where I'll be talking about the how-tos of creating a show. What goes into a pitch Bible, how to make expression sheets, goodness, how to just write a script, that kind of stuff. And it'll help you understand these pieces I'm putting together as I make fish and chips, and hopefully it will help you create your own content as well. Today we're going to talk about the legal stuff. Now, one, I am not a lawyer and this is not legal advice. But look, I've been working in the industry for about a decade, so it's the best you're going to get on YouTube. All right, you have an amazing idea for a show, and that's great. It's step one. The very next thing you want to do is lock that idea down so it belongs to you. Because the minute you start talking about your idea, the minute you start pitching your idea, it's out in the world where others can pick it up and run with it. And that can be great, as long as you own the intellectual property. But Laura, intellectual property law is so boring. And I know, I get it, I'm sorry. I'd rather just be able to draw my characters and the kids and write episodes and create this world without having to worry about the legal stuff. But this is the adult world. And it is governed by laws, and intellectual property laws set the whole framework for how the entertainment industry operates. And if you want to work in it, you better play by the rules. Or at least learn what they are before you break them. Now this episode, we'll talk about creating your own intellectual property, more easily referred to as IP. And a later nuts and bolts episode will deal with using IP from other people. Okay? So, first, memorize this phrase. You cannot copyright an idea. Copyright applies to works, which are things that you have made, not ideas for things that you might make later. A demonstration. I'm thinking of a cat, but it's a mercat, and when it reaches maturity, it molts into a butterfly, and I will call it a cattermaid. And now watch. No intellectual property. Now, one last thing. This is my name and today's date, November 1st, 2018. And it's important because if someone steals your intellectual property, you have a timestamp that proves how long ago you created it. So why should you bother securing your IP? Because if someone steals your work, it's up to you to sue them. You are laying the battlefield, so set it out to benefit you. Now, there are a number of different ways to lock down your IP. The more difficult the process, the stronger your argument, which makes it easier to prove ownership if someone does steal your IP. The most simple way is writing your idea down and dating the page. Or take a picture and create a computer file, a JPEG, a PNG, a Word document, something so you have the file created data locked in. Even more secure, email your document to yourself and save the sent and received emails with their attachments as a PDF. Feeling old school? Print out your document and snail mail it to yourself. Just don't open it. You want it sealed because you'll have a nice US Postal Service timestamp on the envelope. And the best way to lock in your ownership is to register your work. The US Copyright Office lets you do it online. And not only does it lock in your ownership, But if someone does steal your IP and it's registered, you can pursue for statutory damages. Additionally, industry associations will also register works. For scripts, you can head on over to the WGA or the Writers Guild of America, or if it's music, you can register it with the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. So, let's say I did one or many of these things for my Catermaid drawing, and I own the IP. That IP is actually a bundle of rights and derivative rights, so I can put Catermaid on blankets and bedsheets and sculpt it and make a Catermaid novel or a Catermaid comic book. These rights are mine, and I can keep working on Catermaid alone and sue anyone who gets near him. Or I could sell my rights to others outright, or what is most common is that I will license these rights to other people and to other companies. Now, a license is a temporary grant of IP rights. You can give specific rights, like the right to create a book, but not a TV show. Or you can impose conditions on the grantee. That's how Marvel can let Sony make a Spider-Man movie, but set out some rules so that Sony doesn't make some kind of crazy movie where Spider-Man is a serial killer and he starts a gang, and that's too far. That's too far. Okay, anyway, coming back. Anyway, look, these licenses can be crazy profitable. How did George Lucas make $1 bajillion? The distribution company Fox thought Star Wars would tank, so there was probably a conversation that went something like this. Hey, remember that last movie I made, American Graffiti? It was good stuff, right? Well, how about a space opera? Really? That sounds like a terrible idea. No, it's gonna be great, I promise. Like the opposite of sand. Okay, well, here's your budget, and here's your director's fee, and we're gonna knock that way down, and we'll fund it. Oh, great, okay, but can I keep the toy rights? Oh, yeah, the toy rights to The Adventures of Luke Starkiller. Sure, all yours, George. So, I'm sorry this is so dry and so boring, but you're an adult and you need to learn the rules of adulting. So, thank you for watching. Stick around because the next episode will be way more fun. We'll be working with the character Duncan and how...
Don't spoil it.